Hello, YouTube. It's me, Quarterdeck Arcade, and I'm already so freaking tired right now. I just sat down. I just got out of the shower. Just started my first load of laundry. Um, it's been a whirlwind morning for me already. So, um, welcome to the new setup. I rearranged quite a bit here in the arcade. That's one of the reasons why I was so delayed this morning. Um, I got a new streaming desk. This is a new desk that I'm on right now, and since Friday, I've been putting this thing together and moving my 1/6 scale display out so I could put the new table in its place. And then I had to, of course, pull the old corner desk out and put the 1/6 scales back into the corner. And it's been a chore. So I pretty much spent all day yesterday doing that, getting the table built and in place and moving my streaming equipment. If there's any glitches, please let me know. I think I tested everything and everything works okay. But if there's a glitch, do let me know. Been a lot of work. This morning, I stayed at the gym a little longer, so I crushed my workout today. I'm feeling great, other than a little rushed. Didn't even update. Didn't even have time to update my fitness log over on Instagram. So if you guys don't follow me over there, I'm on Instagram as Mr. Fourth Place. That's just a log of what I do fitness wise on a daily basis. I do it for my own accountability. If anybody wants to follow along, great. If not, it's more or less to keep me accountable and on track. So didn't even do that yet this morning. All this morning was spent first of all, getting the stream set up, and second of all, getting my 1/6 scale display back up and running. I've got power to everything now. The display is, I rearranged things a little bit. I put the quarter arcades on their own corner, and I put the basic funds countercades on their own corner. I changed that up. So I do have pictures of that. Just want to make sure I pull up the right thing here. All right, let's do that. Let's share that real quick. Window. There we go. All right. So this is the new corner where you see my 1/6 scale display. It's now in a corner configuration. That's where my corner desk used to be, my streaming desk. So that's out of the arcade right now. If anybody wants a cheap corner computer desk, it's really nice. Bought it, I think, for like 89 bucks. I'll let it go for 25. Heck, if you come to visit me today, I'll let you have it for free if you get it out of my basement. So I got to figure out what to do with that. Either take it apart, carry it up to the garage, whatever. But it being a corner piece, it's kind of hard to mess with. So yeah, I hemmed and hawed whether or not I was going to move the NBA Jam over here next to the streaming desk. and just keep it one straight wall of a 1/6 scale display. But I think it actually looks better this way in a corner configuration. And well, you guys have seen that before. So here's the new streaming desk. And a 72-inch by 32-inch desk, and I can raise and lower this, so it's a standing desk as well. If I decide to do a stream standing up, I can put it up there, and already have my height configuration set. So pretty happy with it so far. I did try to put a huge monitor in the center there behind my laptop, and it didn't feel right to me. And the camera, I like to be at more eye level, head on view of me. So anyway, is what it is. Da-da-da-da-da. So let's stop and take a moment, say hi to the chat. Mikey Yoon was here early before the stream ever started. Yes, I do. Let's do a quick count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so I have 10 GRS Build-A-Cades. All of them are pies. Oh, now that I think of it, that's the thing I forgot. I forgot to bring a pie down here. So I may have to run upstairs to get a Raspberry Pi for the build that we're going to be doing today. But I've got 10 GRS Build-A-Cades now. This will be the 11th. It's no secret because I put it in the stream title. It's a journey, and as I mentioned in the stream description, I have a lot of nostalgia for the Journey arcade game. So, and I know we'll never get one in 3/4 scale. So let's say hi to Stock Jock. Stock Jock's here. Yeah, 10 minutes ago I was actually naked in the shower. TMI. That's where I was, literally. Oh man. But good morning, Stock Jock. Hockeytown Arcade is here. Always good to see you. Chris S is here. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Ted Adam Green is here. Always great to see you, pal. We're just here hanging out in the corner when we can. Don't have to be no reason other than a good company. Yes, that's right. I appreciate everybody's company as I stumble and mumble my way through arcade builds, almost Mr. Rogers-like fashion. Oh, although I'm not wearing one of his sweaters. Hockeytown says that's an intro Stock Jock loves. Yeah. Let's see who else is here. Stock Jock says, I gotta say, you are looking very refreshed. Only glitch I see there is no Robotron. Trust me, it's on. You can't see it. It's right next to the Star Wars here, but it's on. Here, I'll move the camera a little bit. See? There it is. It's running. So yeah, I did reconfigure everything. Let's bring up. I don't have my cell phone camera up because quite literally flying by the seat of my pants, as I said. But so this is the arcade now. I did move camera 1 into position to watch the build. So that's why that top camera is aiming at the build desk right now. As you guys know, bring that down. As you guys know, I picked up that Simpsons a couple of weeks ago. Very happy with it. I actually kind of want to make a video just on the mods that this guy did to this cabinet, because I think I got a steal for $450 on that Simpsons cabinet, because he lit the coin doors. It came with a stool, came with a tin. He did a nice, beautiful LED job, not just on the back, which is what most people do. He actually put LEDs underneath the control panel, and you can kind of see it here in the bottom left corner of the frame here. You can see the LED light coming down from the control panel there. And the other thing he did was he added Konami stickers to it. So I may wind up replacing the marquee with a Joe Szabo marquee, but actually Joe Szabo I didn't see a Simpsons marquee on his website. Oh no, I take that back. I was going to replace the front riser panel with a Tulsa Arcades riser panel, and he does. Tulsa Arcades is the one that doesn't have a Simpsons riser panel. So I'm not gonna. I'll email JC later and or sometime this week and ask him if he's ever done a Simpsons riser panel replacement. But it's a beautiful. I've always loved the Simpsons. This is the third Simpsons I've owned, and I'm really happy about having it back in the arcade. So I thought 450 was a steal for what I got. So Baby Me is here. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Biggie D is here. Welcome, Biggie D. Good to see you. Yeah. Journey, love them. And on the Journey front, Journey's actually coming to Milwaukee in March. Those of you probably saw Journey made the announcement. Their Kiss called their End of the World tour End of the World. I don't know what Journey's going to call it, but this is supposedly their last time touring together as a band. Obviously without Steve Perry. But I'm kind of doing a 50-50 about going to see Journey here in Milwaukee in March. We'll see. PB&J is here. Good to see you. Sony 4K is here. Hey, how you doing? Prince Vinny is here. Good to see you, buddy. I saw that. I saw that you mentioned that on stream about getting the two panel conversion. I may do that again. I know I get a lot of shit because I filmed a lot of content on the previous Simpsons I owned. I brought that down to a 2-player configuration, and I don't know. I'm getting kind of lazy, and I may just leave it as a 4-player. We'll see. I'm still thinking about that. Yeah, one of the things, Sony, is I never saw Journey. There's 2 bands I saw as a teenager and before I joined the Navy. Actually, before and after I joined the Navy. I saw Pat Benatar twice. Love that gal. And I saw ZZ Top. Actually, no, I saw ZZ Top twice. I saw them once in Norfolk, Virginia, and I saw them once in Indianapolis. And Pat Benatar I saw once in Indianapolis. So those are the only 2 concerts I went to as a kid growing up. And I would love to go see Journey, even though they don't have Steve Perry. Yeah, I'm guessing you mean without Steve. Arnold Pineda is he's okay. He does a great job. I mean, he sounds just like Steve Perry. So that's why I'm 50-50. I don't know if I want to do it. We'll see. Hockeytown says he has a 2-player conversion on Simpsons. Stock Jack. Yeah, I'm jealous. So I might just do it, just to get the T-shirt and have fun with my gal. Well, it's been a while since we've been to a concert together. Prince Vinny, I bought it off Facebook Marketplace. There's a guy literally lived less than 5 minutes away from me that was selling it for $450, and I couldn't believe. I almost messaged him immediately. I actually waited a day to see if it sold, and when it didn't sell, I said, "Well, that's it. It's in God's plan that I pick it up." So I picked it up, and he actually had a really cool basement. He had a finished basement, had a real pinball machine. I couldn't tell you what it was, and he had a Pac-Man XL. So yeah, I bought it off Marketplace from a guy literally less than 5 minutes away. We're all caught up with the chat. As I was flying by the seat of my pants today, no significant show prep, so I might just jump into the build here. I am not done rearranging stuff. It bothers me that I'm sitting directly in front of my Quarterdeck Arcade sign. It bothers me that all my tall cabinets are blocking that wall. So I may be doing the arcade shuffle here just so the back LED artwork is shown better in my stream. So regrettably, I didn't have time to do that yesterday. The gal and I went and saw a Christmas parade yesterday. Yes, it was a Christmas parade this early. Our city tends to do it really early. I don't know why. Um, maybe because the weather's a little bit nicer than it will be in a month. But she wanted to go see it, so we went and saw it. By the way, while I'm sitting here chatting, I did post about this, I believe, in my community post section. But one of the reasons I didn't do a show last weekend, and I do apologize for that, but I was quite worn out, is because the night before, I didn't get home till midnight. And why, you say? Well, because I went and you folks, many of you probably have already heard of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. That's a charity organization that flies veterans from whatever city to DC for a day so that they can visit all the monuments, visit any graves of their friends in Arlington. Just a whole day of veteran related activities. And well, I got wind that an acquaintance of mine, a fellow shipmate, who is, and I've talked about him before on my streams. He's 87 years old and he's a runner. Okay. He runs. Yesterday he ran a 10K. But the weekend before, he was on Stars and Stripes Honor Flight with the owner of the race company I used to work for. And so two people I know were on the honor flight that week. And I said, well, I've got to go welcome the vets home. So I did. It was my first time doing it. And I just want to say, for any of you out there, if you have the opportunity to, even if you don't know anybody on the flights, just go experience it once. It's just an amazing experience that Stars and Stripes Honor Flight does for these vets. I hope to go on one eventually. It'll probably be another 10, 15, 20 years before I'm eligible to go. But I'm looking forward to it. So enough on that. Highly recommend it. Anywho, Biggie D went hiking yesterday. Awesome. I don't know if I'd survive a 2,000-foot elevation. No. We have a state park right down the road from me. That's the most technical running course for trails you could possibly imagine, and I've fallen there because you don't pay attention running that trail. You're going to hit a rock and you're going to be face first in the dirt. And I was during a race once there, and I've never ran there again. I go hiking there all the time. I love that place. It's beautiful, especially around this time of year when the leaves are turning. Yeah, I'm very happy. And that leads me to one of the next things I'm going to talk about. And I didn't look this up beforehand. Show prep is awesome when you're able to do it. Let me go out here to Marketplace real quick. I want to see if it's still here. I think it's gone already. So what I wanted to talk about, I don't see it in Marketplace, so he probably sold it. I'm on a Konami, given that I just bought The Simpsons, I'm on a Konami pickup binge. So if I could find a Konami, the two that I'm looking for are X-Men and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So if I can find either one, I would very much like to get them. And there was one that's about 2.5 hours north of me in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. There was an X-Men, and he was asking for a really reasonable price on it. I can't remember what it was, and I don't see it in Marketplace anymore. Yeah, it's gone. So somebody picked it up. Hopefully it went to a good home. I should have jumped on that when I had a chance and just told the guy I'd be up there when I can to pick it up. but I didn't. So I'm on the hunt for TMNT and for X-Men. But I'd like to complete my Konami collection with those. Yep, it's nowhere to be found. I'm bummed. But I haven't had time to look lately, really. Oh well. It is what it is. Yep, that's my goal. I want to complete the Konami uh triple, you know. I had X-Men and I had to let it go. I agree. Going back to your comment here, Biggie D, I've struggled lately. I've struggled mightily ever since my marathon where I really did a crappy job in September. Um, I have struggled with my running lately, and the last couple of workouts that I've had, like I ran 9 miles yesterday, and that was the best I felt in quite a while. So I'm encouraged by that. I did do 6 miles today, um, so shorter mileage, but I felt good. I did not want to take it past a 10K. I wanted to take it easy, but lately I haven't ran a half marathon distance, and I used to do that every weekend, but I haven't been able to do that since the marathon, and I'd like to get back to that point, but I'm taking it a baby step at a time. So thank you so much, Biggie D. I love that. I appreciate it. I love hanging out with you guys, and I love just doing stuff. I love just like I said, Mister Rogers style, just getting down to it, and hopefully people pick stuff up that they can avoid. Uh, and I'll just point out the top of the GRS Build-A-Cade. I haven't built one of these in quite a while, so Stock Jocks is probably going to laugh his butt off with me trying to get that lid on. Well, you're out of luck. I don't have a spare bedroom. Sorry. All my rooms are kind of filled with stuff right now. Sorry, buddy. I would if I had the room, but you don't want to stay up here anyway because I'm literally an hour away from where the Midwest Gaming Classic actually happens. So if you guys do come, I'll definitely show up there, and uh, I and we'll hang out and have a good time there. So okay, I don't. I mean, I followed the news, but I didn't write down any bullet points of anything I'd like to discuss. There's plenty other channels covering the news. I don't consider myself a news channel, but I do like talking about stuff. Um, I am intrigued by I'm intrigued by what's next from Basic Fun mostly. Um, I might be buying the Return of the Jedi. I'm not sure yet, so gonna look at my budget, see where I'm at with my arcade budget, and if it's in the cards, fine. But I'm more focused on marketplace pickups to try and complete my collection. So anyway, I'm going to take a quick drink here. Oh, thank you. I have to mute myself when I do that because it's one of my pet peeves on when people do streams and you can hear the ice banging around in this on off the mic. So I always try to practice what I preach and mute the microphone while I'm doing that. Biggie D says there's the new remaster of The Walking Dead. Well, you know what? I watched the first 2 seasons of Walking Dead and then just gave up on it. I thought the first 2 seasons were great, but I didn't like where it was going, and I'm not that much into horror and uh, uh, stuff like that. So I'm more of a sci-fi guy. Okay, so what do we got? I need to do some setup here. Let's get right into the build. It's been almost a half an hour, so I figure that's a good enough time. Right behind me is my build desk, so I'm gonna get some things set up here. Let me mic up, and again, you guys got to let me know. Oh, Walking Dead pinball. Sorry, Biggie D. Yeah, actually, I saw that. That was talked about on another stream the other night. All right, let's switch mics here. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yes, it's there. Awesome. I didn't screw things up yesterday when I moved all this. Okay. Let's light up here. We'll switch to camera view. All right. And that picture in the lower right is actually a static picture that, when you turn off, I don't know, those of you that stream know what NDI is, but when you turn off your NDI camera, the last image shown in OBS is just freezes. Okay. So I got to put my cell phone up here because that's my build camera. Oh, I don't like that. Let's see how that looks. Oh, oh man. Am I going to have a problem with this camera? My gal is home today and she might be streaming. I gotta test this out. This room is a mess right now because of all the building I did. Yeah, my NDI camera is struggling because it's over wireless. Don't mind me, folks. Well, I'm really going to throw something at it because I'm going to fire up. They just upgraded the internet infrastructure in our neighborhood. All right, so I've got the stream going on my tablet. I need to get power to my phone, and I need to go upstairs and ask my girlfriend not to watch TV, which I'm sure will make her happy. Okay. All right, so the phone's got power. All right, the camera looks better. Maybe she stopped watching TV anyway. I did warn her that I might need her to. All right, let's change views here. Keep talking about it, but okay. All right, I did not have time to unpack the box, so this is going to be a full unboxing and build. Sorry, guys, those of you that have seen my GRS streams. And I'm going to need my eyes. And the image of my, the image that I use for these is currently burning upstairs. It's probably done by now, but I'm going to have to go upstairs anyway. Whew, guys, I'm tired already. Yeah, Stock Jock, if I were to tell her that, she'd be moving back to Virginia. She takes no shit. Either that or I'd be in the hospital. One of the two. My gal don't play around. All right, so you've all seen, those of you that have built these before, you've seen the box before. You know, it's a kit that you get. I just got 2 more of these actually the other day. So I'm going to be building some more Build-A-Cades. I did get a couple of pieces of artwork from Joe Szabo, and this is Szabo's art right here. So you saw it in the thumbnail, but this is Joe Szabo's handiwork. And I have one more Joe Szabo's artwork that I'll do. And then I've got 2 more artwork packages coming from, I think, Escape Pod. And so we'll use those. He does a good job too. So we're going to open the box and just take everything out like I've done on past streams. So you got your manual, which I will be following because, again, it's been a while. We've got your artwork. We're not going to use this, obviously. We got a side panel. We got our little monitor, our 4.3-inch DSI display. Set that aside. It comes with a micro SD card, which you can use or not use, or put it aside, use it in another project. But I use my own SanDisk 32 gigabyte SD card, which is currently, like I said, burning an image upstairs. So that's just excess parts for me. Here is the marquee light. So you've got a little small marquee light here, marquee light with the connector. You just set aside all the parts that I'm not using. We've got additional Build-A-Cade artwork. Again, this stuff we're not going to use because we're going to use the artwork from Joe Szabo. Here we have our DSI cable, or no, this is not the DSI cable. This is the SD card extension cable. And I'm just going to take that out of the package right now. And you have to be very gentle with these cables because they're very frail. And I find that if you bend them out of whack too much, then they're rendered useless. So this end here is the SD card. This goes into the SD card slot of the Pi, which, by the way, I do have to go upstairs and get. I'll probably do that after I get everything unboxed. And then here's this goes into the back panel, and then that's where you plug in your SD cards. Hey, Goofy Foot, good to see you, man. B. Kirby's here. Good to see you, B. Kirby. Yeah, I like building these little things. They're awesome. Glenn did a really good job. Glenn and his company. Here we have our monitor mounting bracket. And then we have our wiring harness. Let's go ahead and take that out too right now. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me. It looks like my NDI camera has stabilized. Happy to see that. And again, this thing is packed in layers. He does a really good job. This thing is packed so well. One of the reasons I love that company. I can't wait to see how they packed the big FU edition. I got one of those coming, so that'll be another winter stream, assuming they're not delayed. Here you have your marquee mounting brackets. I've built so many of these, I instantly recognize the parts. Here's the default control panel that comes with. I do have a couple of the control panel kits to fall back on when like the next cabinet I'm going to be building. I'm not going to tip it off yet, but the next cabinet I'm building actually uses the spinner control module out of that 4 control panel pack. But with Journey, we're just going to use the default control panel here. So we will be using this. Here we have the coin door, and it's got your push buttons. Still probably temperamental in that if you don't do the step of pulling the audio extension or the audio port here, if you don't pull that rubber cover out all the way, don't pull it so that you break it, but just pull it enough that you've got the other side fully in. And when you seat this, you don't want, because sometimes the left button sticks. So I've had to, if it doesn't seat quite properly, you're going to wind up having this left button stick. And it's happened on a couple of my Build-A-Cades, but the later ones that I've done, I haven't had that happen. As long as I take particular attention to pull this cover on the audio port all the way out. So we have parts bags here. We've got our joystick covers, and we've got our base rubber covers. Another monitor mount bracket. Here we have the battery holder. And then here we have some more parts package. Here's the DSI cable. This cable you have to be super delicate with so that you don't screw it up. We'll put that by the monitor. Then we have all of our screws and stuff, our screws packages. I'll go ahead and... Yeah, Stock Jock has my number. He knows that top piece. And again, Stock Jock, I haven't done this in a while, so there may be some cussing. That's why when I set up these streams, I always say it's not for kids. Because I know I'm going to wind up cussing. I thought about it the other day. Why do I do this? Why do I stream? I'm sure other people ask that question. Why is he even streaming? I do it because I like hanging out with you guys. And, I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? When I'm gone, this stuff's still going to be floating around the interwebs. Okay. It's still going to be on YouTube. And my kids and grandkids can still, if they want to see grandpa, they just got to pull up one of my YouTube streams. So that's a lot of content that if they're missing me or they're missing the sound of me, all they got to do is reach out and pick up one of those streams. So here's the back panel of silicone gel. We don't need that. All right. So here you've got all your you got a joystick actually back here on the back panel. If you If you use one of the optional control panels that don't have a joystick and you need to navigate menus, you can use it. You can use this joystick on the back, but you've got your volume knob for the speaker, power on off, power input. You've got 2 USB ports available and an HDMI, an external HDMI port. Here's your SD card port. And then you've got a couple of buttons here, 1 and 2. So that goes, there goes another layer. Hockey Town, I think, are you talking about Szabo's Etsy page? Because I don't think I've ever been there. I didn't even know he had an Etsy page. Is that what you're talking about? Here we have the coin door and front kick panel. I'm going to do all my artwork first before we get into the build. Here's our battery and various cables. Now let's talk a little bit about the Journey artwork and kit that I have. More cables here. So I was going to pull up a real Journey arcade, and it's about as close to a Nintendo style cabinet as you're going to get, but it's not quite there. The monitor in the real Journey arcade is mounted behind the bezel, and it's kind of in an upright position. This is going to be more. This is going to be. I do have the Nintendo hood here. It's part of the artwork kit that Joe Szabo sent me. So the artwork kit that I'm going to be using today is the Nintendo style kit, because that's how he sells the artwork, and it's very close. The monitor is going to be at an incline. It's not real. That's pretty much the only difference between the real cab and the Build-A-Cade cab, because the real cab, the monitor is more in an upright position. This cab is going to have the monitor tilted back, and that's just because that's the default configuration of a GRS Build-A-Cade. So here we have our bezel. Okay, we have our HDMI cable. We have our little bracket that goes into the Build-A-Cade in the middle, towards the end. We have our marquee, which I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I'll use the Journey artwork on the marquee piece. I don't know though. That looks pretty. I'll have to see when I get there. I don't remember if I applied the marquee. Guys, let me know if you've done Joe Szabo's artwork, if you've applied the artwork on the Build-A-Cade, or if you just used Joe Szabo's as a direct replacement for this. I don't remember. It's been so while. It's been almost a year since I've done a GRS Build-A-Cade. So here's the infamous top that Stock Jock was talking about. So yes, this is the bastard piece from hell. One of these days I'll master it. Okay, that's it for the box. Let's go ahead and get our artwork out. Okay, Hockey Town, thank you. No, I got a trace amount of snow here. I think Quarterdeck got more snow than I did. I think they got about a half an inch down in Milwaukee, and also today they're supposed to be getting some lake effect snow, so they might get an inch or two of lake effect snow down there. So he might. I think he's closer to the lake than I am. So. All right, so let's open up the Journey artwork. That was a good album, Goofy Foot. So here's his artwork. Now it does come with a plastic protector on it that we'll have to peel off. So that's why it looks a little dull. But I love it. Actually, he's got a little sticker here now that says remove protective film. I don't know if he's had an issue with that, with people leaving it on and complaining about it not looking 100%, but all right, so we're gonna, I like to apply as much artwork as I can ahead of time. This looks like it might be a direct replacement. I'm pretty sure that's the case because it's double-sided printed and you don't want that impeded by the marquee piece. So we're just going to use this. And it's also got a protective film on it. We have our bezel artwork. It's been so long since I've done one of these. So there's our bezel artwork. Looking good. Awesome, Stock Jack. Now you're quite the Journey fan. Probably even bigger than I am. Always been a fan of Steve Perry's voice. Even when he went solo, I was a fan. Here we have our control panel artwork. I'll turn them around. We have our control panel artwork and then our, I don't remember what that panel is called, but it goes here. And then you have your control panel. And then we have the kick plate and coin door piece. Wait, I've got this thing blocking the camera here. Sorry about that, folks. All right, so that'll go right here. I gotta make sure I orient this artwork correctly. Especially this piece and the bezel piece. Just looking at the bottom here. Yeah, because there's game instructions here on the bottom, so this is the bottom. I'm pretty sure that one. All right, so let's take care of the artwork. Let's do the control panel first. So here's our control panel. You're going to want to peel the back, the Joe Szabos artwork backing. Okay, and then you're just going to want to Oh, see, slowly center it over the buttons and the joystick, and then just apply it with your thumb. Now there's a protective piece here. I think there is. Yeah, there is. Yeah. There we go. So there is the control panel. Make sure I have to look at my screen ahead. So looks good. I can't tell you how much money I've spent on this game growing up, though. All right, this is the piece I'm not sure about, and I want to make sure I get it right. Just want to make sure I orient it correctly. Let's find the page that I pulled up. So I'll pull this up really quick since I'm over here at the streaming station. So here's the real Journey Arcade. Okay, now you can kind of see that it's kind of got that Nintendo style shape to it. It's obviously not exactly a Nintendo style shape, but it's more of that shape than it is a traditional arcade shape. So the piece I'm worried about is this piece right here. He's a little different. But okay, so I know how it goes. Wanted to make sure I got that right. Here's a look at the GRS or the Szabos page for the Journey artwork. And he didn't have one built, so it's going to wind up looking in this shape, but it's going to be close to the original arcade, but it's not going to be exact, and that's okay. I think it's closer in style to a Nintendo configuration than anything. So yes, I remember the cocktail version. All right, so we've got our control panel done. Let's go ahead and apply this. Now, the gal and I actually got some gym time today together. So she came a little later because she doesn't get up as early as I do. But we got some gym time together. Always good when you can work out with your gal. All right, so we're going to apply this and kind of center it. Didn't like the way that was lining up. Okay. Before I strip off the protective piece on here, I'm going to go ahead and put this piece on right away, and then I'll just peel the. Yeah, I don't think he's got a protective piece on the back there. Okay. And you just got to kind of center this. No, my big head's probably in the way. Now, obviously, you're going to have the coin door pushing in here in the center. And just press, 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 press. Get that thing down. All right. So now we're going to peel the protective. And I have no nails. I have none. Bright and shiny. That's what I like to see. And let's do that for this piece here. That just looks gorgeous. So there's the coin door plate. Looks great. Now the bezel, we're not going to do until we get to that point in the build. And again, I don't remember exactly where in the build order this would go, but don't mind me. I'm just trying to reorientate myself with the Nintendo hood. And he marks them. I don't know if you can see it. So he marks the pieces A, and then what side the A piece goes on, and B. So they're marked. So it's good. It's easy to. So that's what the hood looks like. I bet I can put the artwork on here now. It's going to go right there. So let's see. So here's, yep. It's just going to fit right in there. So it's, oh, don't break it. I did break it. Son of a bitch. Be careful with these. It didn't totally break off, but it's loose. So I got to be careful with that one. All right, let's go ahead and stick this on. And he's got double-sided stickers here. On either side. And just fit it on the panel. And then we'll put our hood pieces back on. You got to let me know, guys, if the stream goes bonkers, because I can hear the TV upstairs, so she's streaming. I probably should have put this on afterwards, but it's not quite centered, but it's good enough. So there's the hood piece. And by waiting, it's going to be harder for me to peel off. Here, let's just do this. Put this way. I'm going to peel off the protective piece. Again, no nails. Go. And there's our Nintendo hood. If you guys could hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so already. I know most of you who are watching me right now are already subscribed, but go ahead and smash the like button for me if you would. All right, so the only artwork we have to do now, the marquee obviously is a direct replacement, so that'll wait until we get to the marquee part. But now we're going to do we have to do this with these pieces. So I need to assemble actually, you know what? The artwork will for the side panels we'll do after the thing is built. It's just easier that way. So let's do it that way. I don't want to screw things up here. Again, it's been a while since I've done one of these. All right, so we're going to move into the build. I'm going to take a sip. I apologize if it's noisy. I don't have a mute button over here. Excuse me. Let's take out our manual. Let's get right to the build. Before I do this, though, I am going to run upstairs and get two things. One, the image I'll be using, the SD card, and then the Raspberry Pi that I obviously need. So I will be right back. Talks amongst yourselves. All right, I'm back. Sorry. That image looks a little dark on my NDI camera. If I can brighten it up a little bit. It's a little too bright. Yeah, it's better. Okay. Sorry, I'm not a professional streamer. So Raspberry Pi, the Raspberry Pi that I use on these little Build-A-Cade projects is the Raspberry Pi 3B. Since I'm a classic arcade emulator guy, that's all I need. I don't need anything stronger than a Pi 3B. The Pi 3B has Ethernet port. It also has built-in Wi-Fi, and it's all you really need for classic art game emulation. So it's what I use. And anytime I go near a micro center, I always pick 2 or 3 of these up just to have them on hand for projects. And so thanks to my trips to Indianapolis, I don't have a micro center near me. The closest one is down in Chicago area. So last time I went down to Indianapolis, they have one on the north side. So I stopped in and I bought a bunch of these. So I have plenty of pies for various projects ready to go. Hey, Gramps Arcade, good to see you. All right, the desk is a mess here. Let's get to building. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I follow the directions anyway, because I want to be successful. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the feet on. Yeah, they're a little more expensive than $30 at Micro Center, but Micro Center is convenient. So, I mean, I could probably order them off of Amazon, but I think off of Amazon, they're actually more expensive than what Micro Center had them for. I haven't looked in a while, so don't quote me on that. At some point, may whip out my headlamp just to see better what I'm doing. Oh, guys, I gotta talk while I'm doing this. I gotta talk about. There's a new burger place here locally. It's a mom and pop run burger place, Smash Burger. It's called Smash Daddies. Their specialty, and the only thing they have on their menu are burgers and fries. That's it. You can order soda. You can spice up your fries if you want in various ways. You know, make them taste Cajun or flavor them with Cajun. Put cheese on them, whatever. You can spice up your fries, or you can just get the regular fries, which is what we did. We went in there last night after the Christmas parade and had the most amazing burgers. I haven't tasted a burger this great in quite some time. Culver's is good, but this mom and pop run shop, and they've come up with a market niche, or I don't know, I'm using the correct terminology. They've come up with a business plan. Burgers and fries, that's all they sell. They don't sell ice cream. They don't sell, any of that stuff. So we're still on a high from that yesterday. Okay, so step number 1 we did unpack everything. Step number 2, apply artwork. We've done most of that. Step number 3 is to apply the rubber feet to the bottom, which we've done that. And then we're going to install the battery. So what did I do with the battery? Here it is. The parts mess. So with the wire at the rear, And there's an arrow here on the base piece. That's the front. So you want the wire facing the rear when you seat the battery in here. All right. And now we're going to take the battery bracket here, and we're going to slide that over. And he wants us to use two M3 by 8 millimeters. And he's got all of these parts. These are just very tiny screws. So S6, where's my S6 bag? That's S5. S6, self-tapping. So there's only 2 screws in here, so a lot of winter projects coming. I've got the GRS Build-A-Cade coming, the FU edition, and I've also got the G.I. Joe build choice coming. So I'm looking forward to both. Now I'm sure Joel's is going to come first. The FU edition isn't coming until March, so. I don't know why I'm stripping out this screw. Oh, there is news on my HD pinball control panel issue. While I'm thinking about it, I was invoiced by AtGames for a new controller board for that, and that should be shipping soon. I already paid them, so I expect it to be here hopefully within a month, and then I'll be able to hopefully fix the control panel on my Legends pinball. The Legends pinball is up and running with the old control panel, the original stock control panel. So, but I want to get the other control panel back on there because it has the Metallica artwork on it. Oh man. Okay, so we've got the battery installed. That's good. So we're moving on to step 6, which we'll start to put together the monitor assembly. So the piece that, actually no, step 5 we're on. So we're actually in the monitor phase here. So place a clean soft cloth or towel on a flat surface. Remove the protective film from the screen and set face down with the DSI connector positioned at the top. All right, so here's our DSI connector here. So we're gonna remove the protective film. Uh-oh. Did they not put a protective film on here? I just pulled off the tab. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use my fingernails. So there we go. Now I've got the protective film off the monitor. I pulled off the tab that was supposed to lift the protective film up. All right, now we're going attach the screen mount, which is F2. This piece right here, this bracket is F2. We're going to attach the screen mount to the screen with 4 2.5 by 5 millimeter screws. That's part number S3. The part number on the bracket is on the left side, so we need to flip this around. There's a part number right here that says F2. It wants it to be on the left side, my left side. So that's how we're going to do it. And we need to get these screws. There's only 4 screws in this bag, so any leftover parts that I have from a build, GRS build, I keep in a container in case I need to go back and get something for another future build. Yes, I have the X Arcade pinball kit coming. So I do have, thank you, Hockey Town. So I've got that. I've got the fix to the at games. And I've got the I'm really excited about the X Arcade project. That's going to be fun. So, and I'm not just doing the pinball upgrade kit. I'll also be putting spinners in. I'm holding off on putting. I've got spinners on hand for those, and I've also got the 3D printed virtual hand controllers holders that go on top of the spinners. I've already got those 2 pieces, so that's going to be a fun stream, I think. All right, so we've got our screws in, the brackets attached to the monitor. Now we need to take the cover for the monitor mount, and we need to seat. It wants the specific instructions with the overhang at the top. Secure the screen bezel to the screen mount using 4 2x3 or 2.3 by 6 millimeter screws. So it just sits. There's 4 slots right here that it just sits in. So we're going to need S4 part package. There's multiple screws in here. So we're going to save the bag so I can find the screws. Seems I got more coming. I still got one surprise that and I'm not going to reveal it, so don't ask. I still got one other surprise coming. And I've got my marketplace. I'm on a marketplace mission. So for the Konami. But if there's another good marketplace deal, like there's one I've got my eye on right now, guys. I'm telling you, I might pick it up this week. I'm not gonna say what it is because I don't want one of you locals to steal it from me. But I think I'm gonna reach out to the guy and see if he'll go down in price a little bit. If he does, great. If he doesn't, I'm not too broken up about it, but you got to try, right? I mean, you got to try and get these folks to back off on the price a little bit. But I really want this arcade back in my my collection. It's not a cabinet that's well liked by everybody, and that's okay. I like it. So those of you that watched my previous streams probably know what I'm talking about. Oh my God. All right. So now we've got our monitor assembly all together. All right, now we're going to put the standoffs in. So you got a bag here of standoffs, and there's 2 sizes in here. There's 10 millimeter and 20 millimeters. So what we're going to put in are the 10 millimeters, which are the smaller ones. And there's 4 holes for these. So you just have to hand tighten them. You don't have to take pliers to them and tighten them. Want to be as gentle with the monitor as you can. Okay, so those are in. That's step 7. Turn the page. Now we're gonna now we're getting to the part where I've screwed up on my very first GRS Build-A-Cade build. I screwed this up because I didn't know how to do this. So, and I know I'm not zoomed in here, but on the DSI connector, you have to open that up. And all you do to open it up is you grab both sides and you pull it slightly up. It doesn't open, or it opens, but you open it by just pulling it slightly up. What I try to do is pull one side of it and flip it over. and I wound up breaking the connection, or breaking the holder. So don't do what I did. Be very gentle with that DSI connector. Lessons learned. Glenn was very nice. He sent me out a replacement monitor. He didn't have to do that. He could have charged me for it, but he did it. Because that's just the type of guy that Glenn is. He's a mensch. All right, number 8, gently lift up the latch on the screen DSI connector, which we did. And this is where the monitor, I always get this, but it says with the blue side facing towards the top. Well, here on the DSI ribbon, that's black. So I'm going to assume that that's what they mean. You want your connectors to be facing you. So just seat that cable in there as far as it'll go, and then push down on both sides with both of your index fingers to latch secure it down. And it should snap. So I could pick it up. You don't want to do this. Don't do what I'm doing. But that just proves that it's seated in there and it's not going anywhere. Okay. Now we're ready for the Pi. Now we're going to take the DSI extension cable, or the DSI ribbon cable, and we're going to attach the SD card part What am I doing wrong here? There it goes. It's a little tough going in, and hopefully I didn't ruin this cable doing that. All right, so we've taken the Raspberry Pi and we've attached the SD card extension into the port. And now it wants us to let's see. We're going to secure the Pi to the screen with the 20 millimeter standoffs. That's these 4 things right here. You're just going to screw them into the 10 millimeter standoffs. Again, hand tightening is fine. What else do I have coming? Oh, I did pre-order the lunar lander as well. I see that P-Dub's got his. Kind of jealous. Y'all saw my community post about the Quarterdeck Arcade 7-Up and Pepsi machines. I desperately want those, but I'm not paying almost $700 to bring them here. I was kind of, and I did ask the question of them if they were going to ever bring them stateside in their stateside warehouse, and they said there are no plans to do that. So either I got to shell out the $700 because I really want the Pepsi and the 7-Up. All right, so our assembly's coming together. Standoffs are in. Okay. All right, so now we're going to connect the other end of the ribbon cable to the DSI. Again, same thing. Gently lift up on either. Oh, there's a piece of tape on here. There's a piece of tape on the Raspberry Pi that you got to take off. I forgot about that. The tape is on there to hold it down so it doesn't become damaged. Now you can lift it up. And one side is being a dick. Excuse my language. There we go. Now it's up. Okay, here's the tricky part. You got to kind of bend the cable over the SD card extension cable. And then seat it in just like you did before, with the connectors facing you and the black part facing away from you. Again, same thing. Push down on once you get it in, push down on either side. Give it a little test there. It's in. Okay, that's step 10. But now we're going to put all of the side mount cables in. And there's a reason why you do this, because once you get it seated in the cabinet, where you start putting the cabinet together, it's hard to access these cables. So it's hard to get them in and out. All right, so we're on step 11 now. Plug all side mounted cables into the Raspberry Pi W2. Let's find the W2 cable. There it is. There's W2. So let's put that in. All right, that's in. The HDMI cable. Okay, that's in. This looks like a Frankenstein mess before you start putting it all together, but once it comes together, it looks great. And then let's see, since we're using, oh, by the way, the HDMI cable, there's two different ones. There's one for Pi 3, or actually for the power, not the HDMI, but there's one for Pi 3 and there's one for a Pi 4. They're different adapters. So make sure you use the right one. Since I'm using Pi 3, I'm using the Pi 3 power cable. This one here is the Pi 4 power cable. So I'm setting that aside, and that'll go in my spare parts bin. And then audio cable. So that goes into the audio port. Hey, Israel, good to see you. It's going to be a journey. Here, I'll hold up the artwork again. There is the side panel for the, I realize my camera brightness is adjusting, but that's what we're working on today. So we've done step 11, and you can see this is becoming a Frankenstein mess, but it's coming together. We've put all of our side cables on. We've got our DSI ribbon cable here connecting the monitor to the Pi, and we've got our SD card already in for the Pi. So it's getting there. All right, step 12, attach the wiring harness to the GPIO. Where's my wiring harness? Here it is. And we're going to unwrap this. I'm just going to take the twist tie off because there's cables here that you're going to want free. So here's your GPIO connection, and here's your GPIO port. Now, so there's a certain way this cable goes, and thankfully, Glenn has marked it where pin 40 is. So he has a little sticker on here that says pin 40, and you want pin 40 on the Pi is going to be closest to your USB ports. So right down here. So you want that end. That tells you or informs you what direction. So we're going to put pin 40. And then you just want to gently push down. Okay. So again, this is even more of a Frankenstein mess. Oh, Israel's got a G.I. Joe cabinet. Oh, by the way, Stock Jock, with regards to the G.I. Joe cab, I did, he reached out to me actually because you had told him that I may be interested in switching out the coin door. And so he did reach out to me. And I did, I was 50-50 at that point, but since he'd taken the time to reach out, I just pulled the trigger and I told him to change it. So I'm going to be getting the same coin door you got because I just felt like it was more of a classic look than the retro 530 coin door. And so yeah, I'm sure that probably delayed my cabinet a little bit, but I don't care. It'll get here when it gets here. So, and that's going to be fun stream, I think. It really is. All right, so we've got the wiring harness on. That was step 12. Now we're going to get into putting this all together. So we need left side. We need the left side of the cabinet, which is this guy right here, which is part A. And then we're going to seat this big chunkin' assembly. And one of the nice things about the GRS Build-A-Cade is it's just everything slots and fits perfectly. Like I just stuck that in its appropriate slot. Where is Israel Gaming's picks? Are they on the Arcades Anonymous Discord? Where can I see those pics of his cabinet? I'd like to see them. Let me know in the chat. All right, that was step 13. Just dropping the monitor assembly in. Now we're to the marquee. We're going to work on the marquee. So we need our marquee mounting brackets here. And we need our journey marquee. So we're not going to use the stock marquee piece here. We'll put that in our spare parts. And we're going to remove the film on the Joe Szabos marquee replacement. I can't see the pictures. Who's gatekeeping now? I'm not gonna go down that drama. Nope. I do zero drama. A little booger of a plastic piece on the corner here. Gotta get off. Oh, this is a beautiful printed marquee. And the plastic protection is not coming off very well, but I am the king of gatekeeping. If I am, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even know how to gatekeep, I don't think. I hear that term thrown around. I'd really like somebody to explain it to me. There's a lot of booger pieces left behind. I guess I didn't pull it off quite cleanly. I'm just trying to get them all up right now. I think I'm missing some of it, but anyway, there's the marquee. It's beautiful. All right, so we're gonna do the marquee piece, and it only goes on one way. And you've got your marquee slot here that runs. Let me make sure people can see that, but there's a slot that's going to seat the marquee. Actually, I did it backwards. It's got to go that way. It's not just one way it can go. You got to flip it around because there's this other piece. There we go. And we're going to slide that journey marquee in there. And it's starting to take shape, folks. Now it wants us to take the front and put it into position. We did that already. We did the artwork on it. Oh, okay, Israel. All right. Well, I look forward to it. All right. So we've put the kick plate piece in. All right. Now we're on to step 17. Remove the protective film from both sides of the acrylic bezel and insert into the slots. Well, we've already taken care of the bezel artwork, so we don't need to do that. Actually, the bezel we don't even need either because we don't. It wants us to insert this bezel piece, but I really don't need that. I mean, I could use it, I guess, as a further protection for the monitor. I don't recall if I'm going to look in my spare parts bin to see if I've got leftover bezel pieces. No, I've used them because I don't have. You would think if I've done 3 Nintendo style cabs, and so I'm going to use it because it's just an extra layer of protection for the monitor. I mean, these things aren't going to get abused, so oops, sorry. I'm stretching my camera 1 cable. That's why. One of the problems I had yesterday rearranging everything, since I put my streaming desk in the middle here, is camera 1's cable was too short. So I fortunately had a 50-foot USB 3 cable with power injection, because if you go that length on USB, you got to inject some power in it in order for the signal to reach your computer. So yesterday I was fumbling around with that, trying to get camera 1 working. All right, so we need to put the bezel piece in. Let's take the protective film off. I don't think there's protective film on the other side. There isn't. Actually, there is. I just got to get at it. There it is. Whew. And now I've got boogers on the bezel. Get out of there. Boogers on the bezel, like boobies on the back glass. By the way, I have played the Elvira table, and I love them. I love Scared Stiff better. I've played them both on the 4K and the VR. By the way, has anybody heard any rumors on whether or not they're going to have multiplayer available in that pinball VR? Is it on the planning stages? Let me know if you know. I'm not as tuned in to changes and such. Okay. So let's put the well, I'm looking forward to it, Israel. All right, we've got the control panel in, and now we can put the plexi, and there's still boogers showing up on there. I hate that. Urgh. Okay, so the plexi is in and the control panel. So that takes care of step 17. Now we need to take the right side, which is it says it's part K, but mine says part G. Interesting. Well, whatever it is, we're putting the other side of the cover on. I put the audio cable on wrong, guys. You gotta put it the side that is 90-degree angle. Oh. Okay, this is where the headlamp would come in handy. Looks like the monitor's seated okay. Now, actually, I'm going to try something. I'm actually going to follow the instructions. Uh-oh. Oh, this is a spare part. I'm actually going to follow the instructions because you guys know in past builds that I've done of these, I've always done to secure the cabinet together. I've always put the base in first. The instructions, however, if you follow the instructions, has you putting the top in first. And I wonder if it'll just go in better if you follow the damn directions and don't do what I do and put the base in first. So let's do that. Because I may disappoint Stock Jock here. I may actually do this on the first try. So, all right, so keeping the assembly on its side, align the top with its tracks, arrows facing front. And slide into place. Oh my God, Stock Jock. Oh my God, it went right in. See, if you just, I'm sorry, I have to apologize to Glenn now, okay? Because Stock Jock knows how many times I've cussed putting that thing in. But see, he has you do the top first in the instructions. I have, thinking it would add stability to the base, I do this first because I thought it would be more stable. Well, it actually causes you headaches putting that top in, but if you keep it loose, it slides right in. Public service. Dear Glenn's Retro Show, I just want to take this moment to apologize to you profusely for being an idiot, and hopefully I will prevent myself from becoming an idiot in the future. From now on, I will follow your instructions to the letter, and I won't deviate from them other than when it's convenient for me. This has been a public service announcement from Quarterdeck Arcade. Sorry to disappoint, Stock Jock. Turns out if you actually follow the directions, you'll be okay. Lessons learned. Okay, now we can put the bottom in. All right. So the arrow's the front. Now am I going to have problems with the base now? Because I did the top first? Nope. Went right in. Okay. There we go. So we've got our top and our bottom in. All right, now we're going to start. How do I want to do this? Because you're not going to get a top-down view of it. All right, so it wants us to, we're going to do the marquee. So we've got our marquee here. But what it wants us to do, we're on step 21 now. Run the 2-pin connector and wires from the wiring harness through the opening of the LED panel. So we need to find, I believe that's this one right here. It's the only 2-pin connector on here. Well, other than the battery, which obviously isn't the connection we're worried about. It's this one. So it wants us to slide this through and then connect it. Got to flip it over so that we have power to our marquee. And then we slide that piece in. Well, shit. Our top isn't in, guys. Maybe there's still hope for cussing yet. Sorry, Stock Jock. There we go. It went in. Now we're properly seated with the top. Sorry to disappoint, Stock Jock. Still went in pretty easy. All right. Now let's slide the marquee light in. Slides right in there. I need to tilt this camera up. There we go. So we stuck the marquee in with the cable attached. All right, so that was step 21. 22 is move all wiring aside towards the top of the cabinet and insert the center brace. Although I'm wanting to deviate from the instructions again. So here's your brace, your center brace. Just going to slide that in. Until it pops into place. Okay, that was step 22. Step 23 is to insert the USB extension. That's W4. And I always use the bottom two. Doesn't matter which port you plug them in. It's just easier. All right, so our USB extension is in. That was step 23. Now we're going to attach, here's the tricky part. First of all, we need the wiring harness for the coin door, which is this guy right here. We're going to slide that through the coin door. And it's going to make sure I'm not tangling up any cables or anything. So we're going to reach through and we're going to attach the connector for the coin door. And that was step 24. Now, step 25, make sure I got this oriented correctly, is to actually seat the coin door. And this is the part where I talk about it gets really tricky, and you want to do it so that you don't, so your buttons still click freely. So I'm just going to make sure that that rubber thing is all the way to the side, and then I'm going to pop it in here. So press the top into place. Okay, let's read this. Pull the headphone jack cover out and set the coin door into the front bottom first. All right, so let's follow the directions. Bottom first. Then press the top into place while keeping the rubber thing from being pinched, and then pop it in. Now see, I've got it's sticking. Button 1 is sticking. You can get around that by pressing the sides to either side of the button and popping it back out. I don't know why it does that. It's just done that. I don't know if I'm not seating this in right, or I don't want to try popping it back out because it's going to require some skill. Oh well, it is what it is. Let's try putting this hood into place now. I've never done it this way. I probably should have done this. And that side's going in. That side's in. All right, so it's snapped. All right. Now we're going to stop and we're going to do the artwork. Oh. I actually have a yodeling pickle, but it wasn't one that Stock Jock sent me. That was so cute to me that I went and found one on my own. So we're peeling the backing on the Joe Szabos artwork. And we're going to, and the nice thing about Joe Szabos artwork is it's really smooth and taut. I mean, it's got some rigidity to it so that it's really easy to put on, not like a regular vinyl that you need to use blue tape in the middle and spread it evenly. All right, before I peel the protective cover, I'm going to do the other side. The yodeling pickle that I have actually does, I don't know if you guys remember the price. I don't even know if they still do this on The Price is Right, but they used to have a game on The Price is Right that had yodeling. And this pickle has that music on it. So I don't know if I'd get copyright claimed. All right, our side art is on. It's taking shape. And now we're going to peel the protective cover off. Oh man, that artwork is beautiful. Joe Szabo does awesome work. I will add to the description of the video with parts and pieces links. You know, if you all want to do a build like this. Oh, it's just gorgeous. I love this cabinet already. Yeah. By the way, while I was up and getting the Raspberry Pi, I got the image that I use. So hopefully it works. I didn't test it. Okay, so 25 was putting the coin door in. Now we're going to start attaching things to the back panel. The first thing we do is we're going to attach the SD card extension. Just want to make sure that it's not twisty, that I'm going to damage the cable. So we need to attach that with two S4 screws, which are over here. And I always struggle with putting these screws in because they're so tiny. Oh. And today is no different. Even if I do it that way, let's do it that way. Kind of like I do with the Arcade 1-Up L brackets. There we go. That went a lot easier than it has in past builds. So my image that I have for the SD card, it'll boot up into Miss Pac-Man by default because I took the image of the very first Build-A-Cade that I did, which was the Miss Pac-Man. All right, so the SD card is slot is connected. So now we're going to attach the HDMI port. This is where it's starting to get a little tricky because we don't have a lot of length here to work with. So you basically have to attach the HDMI cable to the bottom there with two screws, which S5 screws. So that's in this bag. So two of these. And the screws attached from the outside. So kind of have to hold it in place. I'm doing this backwards, so. Oh. So get one screw going in there and then put the other one in. Just be careful you're not crimping any wires or bending any wires abnormally. This is so awkward doing it left-handed when I'm a righty. Oh. Wasn't fully seated there. This drives me nuts. Sorry if I'm blocking the camera. There we go. All right. Whew. Yeah, he's good. Joe Szabos is very good, but you know, as you all know, it takes a while. So maybe I'll try his Etsy page. I'll have to find it later. So we've done step 27, which is attach the HDMI port. Now we're going to attach the audio cable. And that is this guy. I just want to make sure my wiring is laid out correctly. So we want to attach the audio cable to the back. That was step 28. Step 29 is to plug in the USB power cable, which is it's W2. That's not it. Somewhere I've got a USB cable dangling. Oh, here it is. Okay. So that's in. Main wiring harness, that's this guy. Only goes in one way. Okay, that's in. You know what? We didn't even attach the control panel. And thankfully, I still have room to work with here. There, I've got the control panel wiring in. It's just harder to do, but it's not impossible. And USB extension, which is this guy, goes right here. Okay. Now make sure the power switch is off. It's off. And plug the battery into the circuit board. So that's the last cable connection here. There, the battery is now in. Now you got to carry. Here's the big part. Why do I have 4 S4 screws left over? Interesting. I hate it when I have screws left over. I don't know where they would have gone though. Yeah. All right. It is what it is. Thank you, Hockey Town. I appreciate it. As Stock Chuck knows, I don't go on Discord much, but when people let me know there's stuff out there for me, I go out there and grab it. I will take a look at that later. I did not know that about Joe Szabos. Okay, now we got to carefully pack the wiring in so as not to, especially you got to take care with this ribbon cable and the DSI cable. You don't want to mess those up. Okay, and I already have a power source ready to go. I don't know how much power is in the battery. Anybody know if Zoltar's still on sale? Because I haven't written the company yet. Maybe I should. The power port on the Zoltar is broke, and so sometimes it'll charge, sometimes it won't. It's loose in there; you can feel it. So it some reason broke off, and I need to take care of that. I really do. See if they'll take care of me, or if I got to buy another one. I don't know what's on top for next week's show. I guess it depends on what happens this week. So and we got some extra S5 screws too. Okay. Step 32 is apply additional artwork, which we already did. So now we got to put the joystick dust cover on, which is a shame because it covers up some of that artwork. Kind of don't want to do that, but there. So our joystick is on there. We got spare parts. Let's plug this bad boy up, and so I've got my power source here. And the red light came on in the back, so that's good. Let's go ahead and insert my image in here. Now, there's a whole process. If you use the SD card that came with, I don't know what I did with it, but it's around here somewhere. If you use the SD card that came with it, here it is, right here. So if you use this, you're gonna go through a process of downloading the OS to the Build-A-Cade to this SD card and getting it installed, and then you got to throw your games on it. What I did was I did all that. I went through the initial installation phase, and I got it. I got the card to where I want it to be. I got the games on it that I want. You know, one of the things I'm not even entirely sure is if I even have Journey on this SD card. So I may have to do some finagling there to get it to work, but just to get the Build-A-Cade up and running. But first of all, let's take a look at the artwork on here. It's absolutely gorgeous. The side panel art, the marquee, the control panel, and the front panel and kick plate. It's just a gorgeous cabinet. So we're going to pop the SD card in, and let's fire it up, eh? The lights are on. You can't really see the marquee.
Game on.
The marquee looks great. It looks terrific. And of course, as I said, it's going to boot up into Miss Pac-Man, but that's okay. See if I can move it closer here to this camera. So that's kind of weird, seeing Miss Pac-Man on a journey. But what I need to do here, no stock jock, I'm not taking this thing back out. It feels pretty sturdy to me, so we're gonna leave it. Okay, so what I need to do here is get back out to the game menu. This is the emulation menu. And first thing I want to see, oh, it's on there. Yay. Let's fire it up. And there it is. Yay. It looks amazing. So I've demonstrated what I need to do here now. So again, I'm working with my own image. So what I need to do, because it has a default boot, and StockJock may need to help me out here because it's been a while since I've dived into the OS. What I need to do is I need to exit the game. First of all, let's coin in and play a game here. The volume's all the way up, and I apologize if you can't really hear it. Whoops, I screwed up. Oh, I hit the stupid side. Let's do the drums. Ah, I'm playing off to the side here. Game over. And I already played this once because my initials are up there. I did a lot better on the other game. All right, so what I need to do is I need to back out of the game. And I need, oh, see, I didn't want to do that. All right. Okay, so I need to go to options. What I need to do is get the IP address. There we go. And there's an option for show IP. 1.132. Okay. So I'm going to go back over to my streaming station. Let's share. Actually, I don't use Explorer for this maneuver. I don't use the browser for this. I go to File Explorer. I'm on my knees right now, so no joke, because my chair is over by the build station. Okay, so let's share this out. So I'm bringing up a File Explorer session, and all we're going to do is whack out what we call in the network industry as whacking out. So I'm going to whack out to 192.168.1.132. Okay, it's going to challenge me, and here's where I don't remember what the hell there's a default retro Pi password, Pi and Raspberry. There we go. So we're into the file system. I believe what I need to do is go to configs, all, and auto start. See, Stock Jock, I remembered. So we need to edit this file. And you guys can't see that. I will need to reshare. Replace screens. Where's my notepad session? Oh, there it is. Okay, share. All right, so here's my notepad session. What I've opened autostart.sh. So it's just one line here, invoking a run command. You're only going to change the ROM name. I'm going to assume that's what it is. And you save it out. I shouldn't assume. So I saved it. Let's I'm just going to take a quick look here just to make sure that's the right ROM name. Yep, it is. All right. So now all we got to do is reboot the. All we got to do is reboot the game itself, the unit itself. So, all right, let's do that. I'll just press the 2 button. We're gonna do quit and restart system. Yes, really restart. All right, it should boot straight up in.
Game on.
Stock Jock, if you could hit me up on Discord, I would, before I build out my image for the G.I. Joel cabinet, I would like to use G.I. Joel's startup video that you used for yours. If you could send that to me, that'd be great. And it boots right into the game now. So we're done. I'll turn the light back on so you can see the beautiful artwork again. It's just a quick tour of the artwork. It's just super gorgeous. I mean, Joe Szabo, yeah, you do great work. We've got the marquee, lit marquee here. That's gorgeous. The panel artwork is gorgeous. Faithful to the original arcade as much as it could possibly be. It's just outstanding. Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't send it to us with the cabinet, I would love to have that startup video. It's similar to what Glenn does for his cabinets. And that's it, guys. Let's do a side-by-side here. Actually, we'll do that. I'll change my mic back. Test. Yes. All right. I've switched off on my I always forget to do the transition in OBS. Sorry, just plugging my wireless mic back in. Well, guys, another marathon stream, not quite as long as the last one I did, which was the build of the Big Buck Hunter. By the way, I'm having a blast with that game. I love it. I don't have a lot of nostalgia for it. I didn't play it in the arcade, but it's fun as hell. That and Fast and Furious as well. I'm having a blast with Fast and Furious. Well, crap. I screwed that up, didn't I? I'm not an expert at this shit. What can I say? I don't have glossy produced streams every week, so you get what you pay for, right? I mean, I went through my spiel. I don't know if you guys heard me talking about leaves. Leaves don't fall here. So I got yard work at the end of the month. That's when I'm going to do my final yard work before winter really sets in. And then, thanks for hanging out with me. Hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you next week. And always remember, guys, I got next. Now we can turn things off.